Hello guys, you're welcome to my channel. Today we'll be looking at a comprehensive analysis of Look Back in Anger by John Osborne. So let's start with the brief background of the play. The play Look Back in Anger is divided into 3 acts. Events of the play take place at the Potter's one-room flat in a large Midland town in the month of April. The prominent characters in the play include Jimmy, Allison, Cliff, Elena, and Colonel Redfern. All the actions of the play take place in the room. The room is arranged in such a way as to serve the purpose of each act and scene. Now, let's take the summary of the act. Act 1. Jimmy, the protagonist, Allison, his wife of over 3 years, and Cliff, their friends, are at the Potter's house. They are concerned with household issues. Allison is busy with her routine Sunday ritual ironing clothes. Jimmy seems to be very difficult to please as he complains about everything and condemns everyone else. He drinks too much tea and smoke pipe. The marriage between Jimmy and Allison is not the sweetest of relationship as Jimmy treats Allison with great disdain. Meanwhile, Allison is pregnant for him and Jimmy is very boastful that he has replicated himself in Allison's belly. Jimmy and Cliff are voracious readers of the dailies. In this act, the 2 women discussed issues of private life as they are getting along well in Allison's house. Elena suspects that Allison is in love with Cliff. Admittedly, Allison rather sees the love existing between her and Cliff as a fluke, even as Jimmy has also loved many, especially during his university days before their eventual ill-fated marriage. They live in her Tanner's warehouse in Poplar, as Jimmy is jobless and broke. Living in Hugh Tanner's apartment is nightmarish to Allison in particular. This awful experience seems to becloud Allison that dreads to inform Jimmy that she's pregnant, much to the dismay and consternation of her friend Elena, who advises her to quit the marriage if things don't change. There is this sudden twist in affairs at the Potter's house. Helena, Allison's friend, is not happy with the pains her friend experiences in marriage. She advises her to quit, call Allison's father to come and take his daughter. However, several months later, Allison's dressing table is now filled with Elena's makeup. As Allison leaves, Elena stays put and begins to frolic with Jimmy. Meanwhile, Jimmy is embroiled in an orgy. However, one fateful day, Elena is pained to see Allison come back. Though Allison apologizes to Elena, the latter seems to have blackmailed her friend as she is anxious to catch the earliest train to run to London. Allison has returned and finally decides to settle with her husband, Jimmy. Jimmy is Jimmy Potter and the most prominent character in the play. Jimmy is actually the protagonist of the play. His father dies before him at the age of 10, an experience that is later to instill in him that mean and condescending attitude towards others. He has loved many women, especially in his university days. He finally settles down with Allison, daughter of Colonel Redfern, and they have been married for about 4 years. Jimmy's other friend is Cliff, with whom they live at her Tuna in Midland Town. Jimmy is tall and thin and 25 feet. Apart from smoking, Jimmy drinks too much tea and spends most of his time reading the papers. Although he doesn't seem to be at ease with anyone, yet he is able to live in harmony with Cliff. He does not like Allison's parents, just as he does not equally love Hugh Tanner. Jimmy's weird character manifests in his penchant of tea, smoking, and sex. He boasts of having successfully replicated himself in Allison's belly, an allusion to Allison's pregnancy. He loves jazz. Tension seems to be heightened in the Potter's house with the arrival of Elena, who ensures that Allison quits the cheerless marriage. Though Elena stayed with Jimmy and as Allison leaves. However, Allison later returned to Jimmy, having miscarried the pregnancy. Now, Allison. Allison as a character is the daughter of the war veteran Colonel Red Fern. She is the most important female character in the play. Allison has been married to Jimmy for about 4 years and there isn't much to show besides pain and anguish. Allison spends most of her time ironing clothes and preparing tea for Jimmy. In spite of her loyalty, Allison does not get any respect from her husband, who describes her as a lady Thessalonians. After 3 years of her marriage, she gets pregnant but is afraid to disclose this to Jimmy. Although Jimmy claims to have rescued Allison from parental hostage, it seems even more that Allison is being held hostage by Jimmy because she cannot go out or receive friends or mail. To write or receive mails, Allison must hide even if her parents are in the picture. Allison's friends include Cliff, who lives with them, and Helena, who counsels her to quit the marriage. Ironically, Helena writes a secret telegram to Colonel Redfern to come and take his daughter Allison. This is done to save Allison and her unborn baby. Allison truly quits the marriage but visits Jimmy one fateful day after losing the child to discover that her friend Helena had taken over Jimmy. She is tall, dark, equally about 25 years like the man. The third character, Cliff. Cliff is not an outstanding character in the play but plays supportive roles. He is afraid of Jimmy and Allison but lives with them. He smokes just like Jimmy, although not pipe but cigarette. He helps out Jimmy to get daily papers and they spend most of their time drinking tea, reading papers or smoking. Cliff loves music, especially jazz, and is very skillful with the trumpet. Sometimes it looks as if Cliff is having affairs with Allison as they often embrace and kiss passionately. Sometimes, to the knowledge of Jimmy, Cliff is warm and easy to be with as he is always capable of enduring Jimmy's unstamping behavior. Cliff is short and dark with big bones and is almost the same age with Jimmy, who is 25 years of age. Now, Helena, the last. Helena Charles is a minor female character in the play. Her role brings a twist in the plot of the play. Helena is the same age with Allison but is of medium height and very attractive. Helena is Allison's friend, but it's Helena who advised Allison to quit her marriage because she thinks that Allison is really suffering. She sends secret mails to Allison's father and tells him everything his daughter is going through. Ironically, when Allison leaves, instead of Helena to go, she stays back with Jimmy several months afterwards. Now let's examine the significance of betrayal and lovelessness as a theme. For betrayal, now look back in anger is exemplary in the portrayal of betrayal. Jimmy makes us to understand that he rescued Allison, his wife, from hostage in her parents' house. If it is true, then Allison is a victim of betrayal, as her parents lack the capacity to give her the desired love and care expected of every modest family. Unfortunately, however, Allison appears to be confronted with real betrayal in the hands of Jimmy. In the Potter's house, Allison is treated like a housemaid. She is always seen bending over a heap of clothes which she has ironed, even on Sundays. When she is not doing that, she is being ordered to prepare tea, which Jimmy takes as if his entire life depends on it. Hence, Allison again is a victim of marital betrayal. But the most painful is that Helena, her most trusted female friend, advises her to quit her marriage, which is full of sadness. She secretly sends telegram to Allison's father to come and take her daughter. The man comes and takes his daughter, but surprisingly, Helena, who vocally condemns Jimmy's attitude before, stays back to live with Jimmy several months afterward. What a betrayal. Now, for lovelessness, there seems to be no true love existing between Jimmy and Allison. Indeed, the marriage of the two young people is symbolically represented by a bear of squirrel. Here, Jimmy is the bear and Allison is the squirrel. What this signifies is a master and servant relationship. or simply put a predator and a prey association. Throughout the play, Allison is being ordered to make tea even as she is busy over heaps of clothes that she has to iron. She only feels Jimmy's relationship when he is hungry for sex, which he does not do it or does emotionally or with passion. Allison, on her part, does not love as she is aware that her love is not being reciprocated. Though it seems she loves Cliff, but she describes such as a fluke, as it is not deep-rooted. Hence, neither Jimmy nor Cliff is truly loved, and Allison too loveless. And that is why Allison confides in her. If Elena has returned same love, things would have been different. Elena advises her bosom friends to quit her marriage because she, Allison, is suffering. Allison quits her marriage, but the blank space she has created in her life or in her love life is quickly filled by her loving friend. This further confirms her lovelessness and indeed the issue of lovelessness that prevailed in the entire play.